Hello everyone, I'm Keen47, aka Wolfkeen, and welcome to another edition of Wolfkeen Talks. Let's all face it, guys, we're not very smart people, especially some of us gamers. We've all made mistakes in our gaming careers that we wholeheartedly hate, and we also run into a few things that we don't want to see in video games. Today I'm talking about some of the biggest mistakes that I've made in gaming history, and also things that I don't like seeing in video games. I know that's two subjects, but I think they correlate with each other in many situations. I think there's a lot of things we can all agree that there was, mistakes that we've done in gaming history and stuff like that. I would say one mistake that I made in a video game, at least one video game that I played, was definitely, one gaming mistake that I made was definitely selling my Mass Effect series. I mean, when I started playing the first Mass Effect, I was having fun at the start, but then I was also starting to get a little dragged. I felt like it was getting a little dragged out there. But then again, I was playing the game on live stream, so I wasn't really able to play the story all that much as I wanted to, and I kept doing side missions, so I guess that was my fault for doing that. And at one point, I pretty much said, do I really want to keep playing this series? And I sold my Mass Effect trilogy for my PS3. I sold it back to GameStop, and I only got, $10 back for it in store credit. And a lot of people kept telling me that Mass Effect 2 is actually the better one. So I actually played Mass Effect 2 at a friend's house, and I really like Mass Effect 2. So I regret selling my Mass Effect to GameStop. When I felt that I liked Mass Effect 2, I was like, God damn it, I just sold my Mass Effect to GameStop. What was I thinking? And I got $10 out of it. I was like, Jesus Christ, what was I thinking? That was a huge mistake that I made in my gaming career. Why would you sell the Mass Effect series when you haven't played the others yet, you stupid idiot? Let's be honest. The second thing, the second thing I'll talk about, the biggest mistake that I made in video game history. The biggest mistake that I've made in video game history, I definitely have to say was starting my Condemned playthrough. The reason why I call that a mistake in some cases is because Condemned is very eerie and very scary at times. If you've been watching my playthrough, you would know that I'm not, I'm having fun with the game, but it's gotten me on such a nerve that I just can't, I can't hold myself from going nuts in many situations. The most recent videos that I uploaded, you would see me going, nuts because of the mannequins. I explained this in the video, I explained this in the Let's Play, but, I don't like mannequins in real life. I find them to be insanely creepy. The way they stand and always look at you, it just creeps me out. And to actually run into enemies who are wearing mannequin stuff and to actually hear mannequins say you're dead and other stuff like that, it drove my imagination into overdrive. That's what it did in the playthrough. It just drove my imagination into overdrive and just caused me to go nuts because of these mannequins. It's thanks to Condemned that I never want to see a mannequin ever again in my life. If I ever saw a mannequin come up in front of me, I'm probably going to punch it across the face. And I know someone in real life who's watching this video is going to find me, get a mannequin, and do that to me just to scare me. I guarantee it's going to happen. Oh, man. I guarantee it's going to happen. I think that's my thing now, that I'm afraid of mannequins, so I'm going to end up punching a mannequin in the face. So, yeah, that was two of my biggest gaming mistakes. What about things that I don't like to see in video games? There are some things we don't want to see in video games. It's not mechanics or anything like that, but there are certain things that we never want to see ever again in a video game, and you will try your best to never see it again. And one of them is definitely some of the death sequences in Tomb Raider. Now, I didn't finish Tomb Raider on stream, but during some of the stream time that I did get with Tomb Raider, you would know that I found some of the death scenes in Tomb Raider rather gruesome. From getting crushed by a boulder to having a branch stabbed right through your neck. Some of the... If you want a perfect example of my reaction, look at this video.
Oh!
Yeah, that clip still makes me cringe. I can't look at that with a straight face. Like, no one can. Even my mom and my friend Jonathan were like, when they saw that, like, Jesus Christ. Like, that's, you know, some of the death scenes in Tomb Raider, those are some of the things I want to avoid. That's why whenever I play Tomb Raider, I try not to die in those gruesome ways. I try to avoid getting killed as much as possible because some of the death scenes are absolutely insane. Like, one of them is that you can get stabbed with a naginata and held up in the air like that. Like, oh, man, some of the death scenes of Tomb Raider. Definitely one thing I never want to watch again. I mean, Dead Space, some of the death scenes are pretty brutal, but I kind of resemble Isaac breaking apart like that. Kind of like Legos. Like, if you played the Lego games, you could probably draw a comparison to Lego deaths to Isaac's deaths in Dead Space. So I can actually look at that with a somewhat smile and just think about Legos. Laura's deaths, I just can't look at it right. No, thank you. I never want to see that again. And another thing that I really hate about certain games, like, this is one thing I really hate about certain games. Bad endings. Now, I'm not talking about bad endings. I'm talking about the morally bad endings. Get me? Like, you know those games where you play where you have moral choices and stuff like that, and there's a bad ending in some of them? I mean, some of the bad endings are okay, like Fable, where, spoilers, guys! Spoilers! Wait for me to, well, you'll see a note right here telling you that the spoilers are over. Get me? Like, spoilers, guys. In Fable, you have to kill your sister in order for you to use the most powerful sword in the entire game. So, that's pretty morbid, being a bad ending. But one of the worst bad endings I've ever seen in my life, like some of the worst bad endings I've ever seen in my life, and I think a lot of people can agree with me, are the Oddworld bad endings. Now, I've never played an Oddworld game in the past, but I have seen playthroughs of Oddworld, and out of morbid curiosity, I wanted to see all the endings of Oddworld. And the bad endings just... they're disturbing. The bad endings are pretty freaking disturbing in many instances because of that. Like, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, the first one, the bad ending of that game, Abe gets dropped into a grinder. That's pretty freaking morbid if you think about it. Can you imagine that? You were playing this game all the way through and then your character gets dropped into a grinder while the main bad guy and one of his minions is just laughing their asses off. You're going to be like this with the controller in your hand like... Yes, that actually just dropped my controller. In Oddworld 2, in the second Oddworld game, Abe gets electrocuted to death. That's pretty bad if you think about it. And then in the third Oddworld game with a bad ending, Abe gets his freaking lungs cut out. Who comes up with this? Someone explain to me. Who comes up with this crap? I want to know. I want to know who... I want to know. I want to know who comes up with this. Because I honestly have no clue who would come up with this crap. It's like the weirdest things I've ever seen in video game history, and they're in that bad endings. Like, I can understand bad endings in some cases, but ugh, Oddworld's bad endings. Don't watch them. They're just horrible to look at. Alright guys, time for some questions for ya. What was your biggest gaming mistake? Like, it could be any kind of gaming mistake. Maybe you romanced a male character in Dragon Age. Maybe you got the bad ending by accident and wanted to get the good ending instead, or something like that. And also, what are some things you never want to see again, and you never want to see and will try your best to never see ever again in a video game? Like, some people are the, like endings of certain games and stuff like that. Like I said, the Oddworld bad endings. I don't want to see those again. And that's really all I have to say about that. Now, normally I would go into updates, but if you've seen my previous video, my previous update video, you would know most of the stuff that's going on with me. I can't promise uploads this week, but I'll try to upload as many videos as I can. I'm trying to work on some interesting things, and plus I'm heading to my friend Jesus' house this weekend. This weekend I'm heading to my friend Jesus' house this weekend, who is known as White Noise 411. I'm going to be heading to his house for this weekend, and hopefully me and him will be able to start recording some My Little Pony vlog episodes. So you'll probably see him in some of My Little Pony vlogs later. But anyways, guys, not much else I need to do. If you want to ask me a question and you want it to be, if you want to ask a question and want it to be answered in Wolfkeen Talks, leave a comment below. So, not much else I need to say, not much else I need to do. I'll try to get some new videos out as best I can. So until next time, guys, I'm Keen47, aka Wolfkeen, and this has been another edition of Wolfkeen Talks. So until next time, take care.